Alright, what up, world? I just want to make this real quick, but I just typed in a couple things into DuckDuckGo, and lo and behold, here are, it says 15, but one of them was a duplicate, I believe. 14 NASA research papers that admit flattened non-rotating. Just real quick, I'll put all of the links so you can check these out for yourself. The first one. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. The next one. The one selected here starts with Newton's laws applied to a collection of particles defining the rigid body. Any number of dynamics or physics books can serve as references. In this paper, the rigid body equations of motions over a flat, non-rotating Earth are developed that are not necessarily referenced to the body's center of mass. The DPS equations of motion use 4 assumptions that simplify the program while maintaining its fidelity for most maneuvers and applications: point mass modeling, non-turbulent atmosphere, zero side forces, and a non-rotating Earth. The example problem is a fixed time problem in which it is required to determine the thrust attitude program of a single stage rocket vehicle starting from the rest and going to a specified terminal conditions of altitude and vertical velocity, which will maximize the final horizontal velocity. The idealizing assumptions made are the following: a point mass vehicle, a flat non-rotating Earth, a constant gravity field, constant thrust and mass loss rate, a non-lifting body in a non-varying atmosphere with a constant drag parameter. And I did a little extra reading throughout here, and there's some pretty interesting stuff about the atmosphere. In some of these, I was reading one of them. It was talking about how the depths of the ocean are likewise the height of the atmosphere, or something along those lines. And then in another one I was reading about, they mentioned the 4 winds. It actually might be this one. But anyway, like I said, I want to keep this short, and I'll put all of these links in the description so y'all can check these out for yourself. You can download them, save them, show them to your friends, and be like, look. Anyway. Alright, a trajectory simulation incorporating the above requirements is presented in reference 8. In addition to the above requirements, this simulation assumes a vehicle with 6 degrees of freedom and aerodynamic symmetry in roll, and the missile position in space is computed relative to a flat, non-rotating Earth. Alright, where is this one? Some of them it won't let me highlight because they're, yeah, it's on the bottom right here. Within the program, the nonlinear equations of motion include 12 states representing a rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Let's see, yeah, right here. The nonlinear equations of motion used are 6 degree of freedom equations with stationary atmosphere and flat, non-rotating Earth assumptions. All right, where was this one? Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's the same talk. I bet you there's so many more articles that you could find these truths in. The nonlinear equations, and I'm reading the one up top. I know you can't see my mouse. I forgot. Anyway, I don't have it set up that way, and I forget how to fix it. I tried figuring it out, but I ain't that worried about it. The nonlinear equations of motion used in this model are general 6 degree of freedom equations representing the flight dynamics of a rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. And at the end of this video, well, I guess you can see the number up here for the pages, and you can see the link up top. So, and I'm gonna go back to the original little article that gave out this information, and yeah, you know, give credit where credit is due. The aircraft trajectory model employed in this study was derived based on the following assumptions. The Earth is flat and non-rotating. The acceleration of gravity, air density is constant, the airframe is a rigid body, the aircraft is constrained to a motion in the vertical plane, aircraft has a symmetry plane, the mass of the aircraft is constant, initial flight conditions are for steady state flight. The Earth is flat and non-rotating. But they acknowledge gravity, so, you know, maybe we need to rethink gravity, at least to a degree. Because I know a lot of flat earthers out there, and, you know, myself included, I don't really buy the gravity thing. You know, the buoyancy and density can be observed. You know, I don't know, but maybe gravity is a catch-all for buoyancy and density, and, you know, I don't know. We don't know everything. We're just all trying to put the pieces together, you know. The helicopter equations of motion are given in body axes with respect to a flat, non-rotating Earth. A model frequently used is that of a flat, non-rotating Earth. It's just over and over again. These equations assume a rigid vehicle in a flat, non-rotating Earth. The state and measurement models together represent the kinematics of a rigid body for describing motion over a flat, non-rotating Earth. In our minimum time to climb problem, the aircraft is modeled as a point mass and the flight trajectory is strictly confined in a vertical plane on a non-rotating flat Earth. And then, to wrap it up, let's read this. It's kind of interesting. Space propaganda is about achievements in space, science, and technology that are used as propaganda. Space propaganda was used during the Cold War and is also used today. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union were in an ideological battle. In the course of this conflict was the demonstration that each side was superior to the other. One of the ways that both countries demonstrated this was achievements in military and technological means. Both sides used this both sides used this as a form of political warfare and at times public diplomacy. Space propaganda was used throughout the space race and played a critical part. And then we'll read this little piece. There are many forms of space propaganda that have been used by public and government officials to influence space policy either out of fear, pride, or destiny. Due to the fact that the number of people that have actually been into space relative to the rest of the global population is small, the most influential type of space propaganda is art or pictures. Propaganda helps when new technologies are invented and are very useful marketing techniques. When new scientific breakthroughs occur, it is vital that the public be made aware of the significance of such breakthroughs. This makes the public more receptive and understanding of change and progress. Demonstrating these changes and having the public understand them is key to instilling the right emotional response. And then, to give credit where credit is due, this was the article that gave all the links. And yeah, so I'm going to put all of these links in the description, so you can download all these for yourself. And if you've made it this far and you are either on the fence or you still, believe Earth is a globe, I just want to leave with one question. If Earth really was a ball, or a globe, I'm not trying to offend or poke holes in a wound or anything like that. But if if Earth really was spinning and the heliocentric, if all that stuff was real, then why do all these tech manuals about actual flying aircraft and rockets and helicopters, I'm pretty sure, don't you think they would be studying how to use these machines on a spherical Earth that is spinning? If the flat Earth didn't exist, well, I mean, obviously, what am I trying to say? Well, it's been said before, and it's very simple. And this is not me, this is not my quote, but it's very simple, and I like it. If there was no evidence to support the flat Earth, there would be no flat Earth movement at all. All right, peace, friends.